Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at a terrifying story about a creepy house. In 2019, a young woman named Maya was starting her final year at a college in Oregon. She was excited to move into her new place in her campus, a small but cute rental house. It was a little isolated, but the price was good. The owner, a middle-aged man, told Maya that the house had been vacant for a few years and he hadn't shown it to many people. As Maya walked through the front door, she could tell the house was old. The floors were creaky and the walls had thick, dusty drapes over the windows. But she liked it. The rooms were spacious and the high ceilings were decorated with intricate moldings. It was perfect. The first few nights went by without incident. But around 3:80, Maya was jolted awake. She thought she heard scratching noises coming from beneath the floorboards in her bedroom. At first, she ignored it, assuming it was just mice or something. But the next night, she heard it again, along with a thump. Then she heard something dragging itself closer to her bed. She froze, listening intently. The sound stopped. Maybe she'd imagined it. She told herself, but the next day she noticed that her snack stash had vanished. She shrugged it off, assuming that she'd eaten them in a dream. But then she woke up to find her favorite socks missing. A week later, her phone charger disappeared. She searched everywhere. Where would it have gone? She lived alone. Was she losing her mind? One evening, Maya was studying late in her room when she heard the scraping sound again. She was jolted to attention. What was that? Suddenly, she remembered the sound from the night she'd heard the dragging. Could it be coming back? Then she heard a thump, like something heavy falling over. This time, it was clear that whatever was making the noise was getting closer. She could feel its presence in the room with her. She thought about calling the police, but what would she say? That she heard something in her room that she couldn't explain. She decided to wait and see what happened. The noise on the wall continued until late into the night. When the first rays of sunlight crept through her window, the noise stopped. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Maya contacted her landlord. He came by to investigate, but his reaction was dismissive. "Old houses make noise," he shrugged, unable to help. The landlord left and Maya continued searching. In the days that followed, she noticed more strange occurrences. Sometimes she could have sworn she saw a pale shadow dart across her bedroom wall. Other times she felt a cold spot where no air conditioning could reach. Then there were the times when she'd come home from class to find her door wide open, even though she had locked it before she left. She started keeping her door open during the day, but that only made her feel more vulnerable. What if she was being stalked? Then one morning, Maya was awoken by the sound of scraping. But this time, it wasn't coming from the wall. Instead, it seemed to be coming from behind her couch. Heart pounding, she crept closer to investigate. There, in the corner of her eye, she saw something dark scuttle across the floor and disappear behind the washing machine. Hope surged through her. Maybe she could finally get to the bottom of this. Quickly, she called her friend to come over. Together, they pried off the washing machine, revealing a small crawlspace door hidden behind it. It was sealed shut with rusty nails, but the girl's curiosity was piqued. Using a screwdriver, they forced the door open, revealing a narrow tunnel. They couldn't see much else because the space was too cramped for them to enter. But after shining their flashlights into the darkness, they saw something that made their blood run cold. There was a makeshift bed, food wrappers, and other debris scattered around, and a closed notebook lying on top of it all. It looked like someone had been living in the crawlspace for weeks. As they searched, they found another clue, a black and white photograph of Maya sitting on the edge of the bed. But what really freaked them out was that in another picture, there was a drawing of her sleeping in her bed. Whoever was living in the crawlspace had been watching her. Panicked, they called the police, who arrived quickly, thanks to the detailed directions the girls had given them. They searched the crawlspace but found no trace of whoever had been living in there. They did, however, find some fingerprints, a stolen hoodie, and other signs that someone had been living in the crawlspace for weeks, but the person was gone. Later that night, Maya got a text from an unknown number. "Why did you wake me up?" it read. Shaken but determined not to be scared out of her wits, Maya moved out the next day. She never found out who had been living in the house or why they had been spying on her. The police were unable to identify the person whose fingerprints they found, nor did any of the locals have any clues. Some did, however, claim to have seen someone lurking near the house for months. One woman even swore that she saw a pale face staring at her from the same vent under Maya's bedroom. Today, the house is still vacant. Locals say that if you walk past it at night, you can hear scratching beneath the floorboards. And sometimes, if you listen closely, you can hear breathing. That's all for today. See you next time.